Good afternoon and welcome to Valley Views. I'm Glenn Edison, your host, and we certainly appreciate you watching us today. And I always want to thank our sponsor, BTC Fiber, and you can see these interviews on BTC Fiber's YouTube page as well as cable channel 18. Also would like to thank one of our sponsors, Needful Things General Store, and it's right on Highway 127. Go down there and visit Kim and see what she has to offer. She'll find some things that you need, and she might find some things you don't need but just want anyway. So go by and check them out. Today we have with us Assistant Police Chief of Pikeville, David Decker. And David, it's good to have us with you. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for
And
having me.
what we wanted to talk about today was your program you've got coming up next week with the public about the, I guess, Neighborhood Watch.
Yes.
So we want to talk about that and maybe get this out to people so they can see it and understand more about the program. So
Okay.
How about just telling us a little bit about the program?
The program is called Community Joining Hands. It's a community-oriented policing concept where since we're such a small town with small police force, you're generally going to deal with the same police officer on a regular basis. It allows us to develop a personal relationship with the community and utilize the community's resources to help us fight crime.
Well, and that's needed really in small towns because, like you said, you just have a few officers.
Correct.
And if anything, 2 or 3 things happen at one time, you'd be tied up all over town.
Correct.
And you wouldn't have any help.
Correct. So our meeting is going to take place on Tuesday, April the 11th at 6:30 p.m. here at City Hall. It will be in the banquet room. Any member of the City of Pikeville is welcome to attend. Any business member in the City of Pikeville is welcome to attend. We're going to be unveiling a tip sheet, which I hope to partner with local businesses and put out to where if somebody witnesses a crime and they don't really want to get involved, they can give us the information that they know and give us some leads to point us in the right direction.
Well, and that's a good thing. I know nationally, a lot of people sometimes have used that as kind of to tattletale,
Right.
and not really point out a crime, just to try to get somebody in trouble, or they call it the swatting.
Right. Correct.
Report
Correct.
a crime that's not actually happening, but
Correct.
Leads to other things.
Correct.
And this is more to help you to notice some crimes that you might, like you say, y'all can't be everywhere all the time.
Yes, with 1-2 officers on at a time, we cannot be everywhere. Part of this meeting, we will go over our crime statistics from January 1st to March 31st. The highlights will be how many calls for service we handled, how many traffic stops we've done, how many burglaries we've had, some theft reports, how many reports we took, how many people we actually took to jail during that time, things of that nature.
And I think probably when people hear those reports, they'll be surprised at the number. Because I know a lot of people think that Pikeville and Dunlap and all the smaller towns are just kind of sleeper towns, but
right. No, we are very busy for a small town.
Yeah, so keep you on your toes. You're not just sitting in the office thumbing through a magazine or anything.
Right. Or watching YouTube.
Because I know y'all stay busy, and so this will help you because, like you said, there might be a part of town that you're not familiar with, or maybe has historically not had any crime, but maybe something's starting up.
Correct. It's the old adage of see something, say something. We are a small, tight-knit community, and we want to establish and foster that relationship with the community to build trust, to know that they can trust their police to come out and handle the situations and do the right thing for the right reasons.
Right, because I know some people have this attitude, well, I'm not going to squeal on all my friends, but they don't squeal until it actually happens to them.
Correct. And 90% of the time, people are sitting on their porch or looking out their window. There's an old adage that there's a little old lady that's seen everything.
Yeah.
So it's just up to us to try to find that individual that's willing to give us this information. And this tip sheet and the tip email address will be just another avenue that we can utilize to reach out to the community to try to come up with leads to help us solve crime.
Right, because probably most of the little smaller communities, I know like where I live on a dead-end road, and we all know each other on that road, and if a different car or something or someone comes down that road, we know it.
Exactly.
you
You're
know,
always looking out.
And so we look out for each other simply because, we care for each other. And I'm sure it's the same everywhere.
Correct.
Same here as well. But again, y'all need help because you're few in number.
Yes. Also, when we develop our relationships with our community, it also fosters relationships with other resources that are available throughout the community. We have faith-based organizations. We have the food bank here. We have the hospitals and mental health resources and drug and alcohol abuse resources that we can share and get people pointed in the right direction. So it's not just about crime. It's about utilizing the resources that we have together as a community. And sometimes it just takes a point to get somebody in the right direction.
Right, because there might be someone that knows someone, maybe they're mentally ill that you don't know because you've never met them or don't know the family, or maybe there's someone who's thinking about committing suicide and all these other things, and you have access to all these other things that can help them help themselves. So that's a neat way to approach it.
Yes.
And we're all a family.
Absolutely.
And so we need each other. And I know just in my lifetime, I tell this, when I taught school, I told the students, I said, you need to have the police as your friends. I said, they'll be the ones that'll help you.
Absolutely. In the agency where I came from, it was, I was very fortunate. I was on the mounted patrol unit, and the majority of that unit was public relations, because people would want to come up and talk to you and pet your horse. They didn't want to come up and pet the motorcycle that the motorcycle cop was on.
Yeah.
But they'd come up and they'd start talking with you, and that's where the beginning of the relationships start with your community, is just by having an open voice and not being afraid to approach us. So they should all know us by name, and we should be able to sit down and have a conversation with them and help ease their mind or address any situations that they have.
Right, because a lot of times I think people may be sometimes maybe afraid to talk, or sometimes they don't know if they should say something or not, or just maybe sometimes they don't want to get involved, and a lot of things go into either talking or not talking to the police.
Correct. We have the support of the city council and the city mayor, and this project is to enhance our small town life. We want to protect what we have and enhance it.
Right, and Pikeville is a growing community. Bledsoe's a growing county.
Absolutely.
A lot of things come into this area, and you want to keep it that way.
Absolutely.
And you want people to know that when people look for places, they look, number one, for police protection. They look for health, hospitals and emergency rooms, that type of thing, and school systems. That's
Absolutely.
the top three things they look for. And they don't want to move into a crime-ridden area.
Correct. And our job is to, protect and enhance that life and be there for our neighbors.
And I know probably, of course, I read the papers, and I know here in Bledsoe and Sequatchie and everywhere really, but especially since I live in the valley, we have problems with the drugs.
Yes.
And it's a growing problem. It continues.
Correct.
I think I saw in the paper where one gentleman had been arrested like 8 times. He'd been arrested
Absolutely.
and released, and sometimes you wonder why that happens.
Absolutely. Well, it's incumbent upon law enforcement to put together solid cases, having the right information, getting the job done the right way the first time, and a lot of it depends upon the prosecutor's office and the court system in order to hand out the proper punishments or what's needed to be done in the situations.
And I think too, when people get into this program about this, this community joining hands program, they need to understand that they're not, their information is not going to be let out.
Correct. On our tip sheet, on our phones and our emails, you can remain anonymous. You can put your information down so an officer can follow up with you. But 9 times out of 10, your information is going to remain, confidential, unless you are just willing to of course, be a witness and go to court and things like that. So,
and you're not. This program is not a program to just get you type program.
Oh no, absolutely.
You're really looking for the major stuff.
Right, absolutely. We're looking for information on narcotics, on burglaries, on thefts, drug abuse, things of that nature that really deter from the quality of life that the citizens deserve to have.
Right, because with the children around here and folks with grandchildren, you don't want them affected.
Correct.
By the drugs that are coming in. That's a lot of people's concern.
Correct.
So they should be concerned enough to, if they see it, to want to report it.
Right. You hear time and time again, there's nationwide the trust in law enforcement, with all the different trials and tribulations that law enforcement's faced over the last years. It's been a tough road, and we need to keep that trust and that bond with our communities, so we can come together and take care of things that need to be done.
Right, and even though Pikeville is a small town, you have a small force. It may be at a point in time where you say we need 2 or 3 more officers, or we need this equipment.
Correct.
But I know sometimes people will question, well, why do you need that type of a weapon, or why do you need? Well, because the criminals have those.
Correct. And the data is good. It supports the things that your police administration strives to obtain to make things better for the community.
Right, and things like equipment, I know it doesn't come cheap.
No, especially in today's day and age. Inflation on everything.
Yeah.
It just doesn't stop. Where it used to cost you $700, $800 to outfit a police officer with a uniform and gun, and now it's $1,200. The price of everything's gone up. So.
Right, and I know in the past some smaller law enforcement agencies their officers had to buy their own vest.
Correct.
And those are not cheap.
Nope, absolutely not.
But when you consider it saving a life, then
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter the cost.
Exactly.
And
you can't put a price tag on a life.
No, and I guess the figures around here would show we don't have that many, murders and deaths by illegal actions, but we still, 0 would be better.
Oh, absolutely. One is too many.
Yeah.
Absolutely, one is too many.
Well, so you're going to have it is it downstairs?
Yep, down here in the banquet room at City Hall. It'll be at 6:30 on Tuesday, April the 11th, and come with an open mind and be prepared to ask questions and bring things to light. We can't address things or we can't fix things on our end if we don't know that there's an issue.
Right.
We're here to show the public and that the city supports them and that the city supports its police, and we're here to do a job and protect and serve our community.
Yeah, I think only the criminals don't like you guys.
Yeah.
Because most of the city likes.
Absolutely. And we've got a lot of good response throughout the community. We started this back, probably about 2.5 to 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And putting it out in all the businesses. We've gotten really good feedback from the community on this program.
And I know y'all do this too when you have local events here. Y'all are out in the crowds and walking around.
Absolutely. Anytime there's events downtown, whether it be a cruise in, a fall festival, we're out, in uniform downtown. Just because that presence and peace of mind is worth it.
Well, and I know I know my grandson. He don't talk about it much anymore, but when he was younger in elementary school, he always wanted to be a police officer. Except he wanted to be a sniper.
Absolutely.
I told him, I said, well, that'll be a safe.
Right, exactly.
But I don't know I haven't talked to him lately about what his desires are. They change.
Absolutely.
Sometimes day to day. But a lot of young people, when they're younger, want to be a policeman or a fireman or something like that. And but we need more. Absolutely.
And that's part of the thing is it's hard to find good qualified candidates to become police officers. You're not going to become rich doing it. You're not going to, be popular doing it. The best thing is it's a calling, and you have to have a service heart. You have to have the enjoyment of helping your fellow man.
Right, because like you said, it's you're not going to get rich over it.
Correct.
And but it is when you're out there helping others, that means a lot.
It does. I've been doing it for 32 years now, and my philosophy has been if I help one person throughout my career either change their life or come out of a situation, then I've done the right thing.
Well, I saw, talking about police officers, I saw in a post the other day, and there's actually an SRO, but he was sitting down on the floor with this student who was having trouble with some of his work. So he just sat down with him because he was really frustrated. He was at a boiling point, you know. So he just sat down with him, calmed him down, and they did their work.
Yep.
Right there on the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we are human beings. We're moms, we're dads, we're brothers, we're sisters, we're sons, we're daughters. And there is an element of humanity that does get lost in the general public's eyes that, you know, we're not, but we are. You know, and it's programs like this where we can step out and shine and show people that we really are here to help make a difference and enhance their lives. And we're not just here to take people to jail and you put bad things happen. You know, we have to do a job.
Right. I mean, you have to do your job just like everybody else has to do their job on their job.
Mm-hmm.
So,
For sure.
you know, you can't fall away from that. And a lot of times, I think sometimes police get a bad review when they think they're just out to get you. If you pull them over, maybe because they've got taillights out or a headlight out or something, and maybe they don't know it. They just need to be told, say,
Exactly.
hey, you got a light out.
Exactly. And in this meeting, we will have all of our statistics from, like I said, January 1st through March 31st. We'll have our total number of traffic stops, how many citations we've written, and basic categories of what they were written for. And I think some people are going to be surprised.
I know, talking about the lights, I had trouble with my truck one time, and I had to drive to Nashville for a doctor's appointment, and I was getting honked at coming home, and I didn't get pulled over until I got back to Dunlap. And then I told him, I said, well, here, look, I said, my lights are not working, that's why.
Yep.
And I got them fixed.
So.
But the police are not out to get you. I have several friends that are police officers, and I want to keep it that way.
Yep, absolutely. You know, like I said, you know, we are all human beings. You know, it's just we have a job to do sometimes that's unpopular among some. Because face it, if you get pulled over, your heart rate goes up, your hands start shaking, you know, you get the nervous. I get nervous if I get pulled over, and I've been a police officer for 32 years, so, you know.
It's just part of it, I guess.
Absolutely. But if we can get rid of some of that anxiety through a good relationship with our community, I think everybody would be better off.
Right, that's a big thing, because I know you watch all these videos sometimes. Of course, some of them are all made up, I know that, but you get all these people want to fuss with the police about why they got pulled over, and they know their rights.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, be quiet. Just
Exactly.
sit there and listen.
Well, you know, people they do have a voice, okay? And as long as the officer has probable cause for the stop, you know, the cooler heads prevail. You know,
Right.
if you're going to be quiet and listen and understanding and apologetic if you were in the wrong, chances of getting out of it with a warning are better than it would be if you were sitting there, you know, causing a scene.
Right, and I see that a lot, and I'm thinking, man, just be quiet and listen. Well, do you have anything else you want to share with us about the program?
I just, I hope that we can rally the community together and come on out and see what the program's about, see what the tip sheet's about. These meetings we're hoping to have every 3 or 4 months, have a meeting so we can go over the statistics in the community. The community deserves to know what's happening around them. You know, they can bring forth their ideas or their concerns. We can roundtable things and put things together so we can come up with solutions.
Right, because as you mentioned, communities need to know. They may need to know that in their area they may be having a crime that they don't realize or crimes.
Right.
And maybe they need to be more on the lookout.
Absolutely.
And maybe they want to be more of this right here.
Absolutely. And you know, we'll have people from the juvenile justice, the county clerk's office, you know, there to answer questions as well. And maybe not at this particular meeting, but over time, at future meetings, you know, we'll have crime prevention tips, and you know, the possibilities are endless as to what we can do to provide services for the community.
Right, and since you mentioned juveniles, you know, sometimes the crime starts at that age.
Absolutely.
And middle school and high school age, and you know, it's a low percentage actually. It's not that big of a percentage, but you know, they just try to get us
Right.
get around the rules.
And well, in smaller communities and smaller towns around America, you know, your juvenile crime rates are usually a little higher because there are not any structured things for them to participate in. You know, if you have police athletic leagues or YMCA's or things where they can get involved with sports and things of that nature, you know, it gives them outlets to in a positive way instead of a negative way.
Right, right.
So,
Well, good. I appreciate you being with us today, and
well, I appreciate you having me.
And I know this meeting will go well in all your future meetings. So
Yeah,
I want it to
absolutely.
go well and get everybody involved.
Absolutely, and feel free to come out and come to the meeting and kind of take note of what's going on and, you know, give you guys an idea on how we're doing.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you
being
very
with
much.
us.
I appreciate it.
And again, you can see our program on BTC Fiber's YouTube page as well as cable channel 18. And again, thank you for Kim Fuller at the Needful Things General Store. Go by and see her. So until next time, have a great day. Hey everybody, this is Glenn Edison from Valley Views. We appreciate you watching our shows, and we would like for you to like, share, and follow us on Facebook, as well as like and subscribe to our YouTube page.